right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
A big thank you in Ferguson.
It's not an easy job.
The salute to first responders.
Great weather as many celebrate Mother's Day weekend. Then I'll time out rain and thunderstorm chances next week.
Our top story, new safety concerns tonight surrounding homeless camps in St. Louis after a deadly shooting near City Hall.
I'm 65 years old. I've never lived anywhere but St. Louis City, and I've never seen what's going on the past few years.
Increased concerns over violence downtown tonight after a St. Louis police officer opens fire on a man who had just shot and killed another man. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson. The shootings happened as people were heading to work this morning and just steps away from City Hall. This also happened near a homeless encampment. Annie Krall is live downtown with what city leaders are saying tonight, Annie.
Tonight, that homeless encampment near City Hall is now gone. Police cleared it out after that deadly shooting, and a St. Louis alderman told us today that police have responded to 230 phone calls at that camp since the start of the year, and we do want to warn you that this video will have sounds of gunshots and it may be difficult to watch.
On his way to work downtown, Aaron Laxton was sitting in his car around 7:30 Friday morning when he heard the sound of gunshots, also captured on his car's dash cam. Turning the corner onto 14th Street, he called 911.
City of St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, 911, Brittany.
Yeah, there's someone shooting. Someone just shot about like 20 shots down by City Hall.
That's when I pulled around and saw one of the individuals laying in the street.
After this shooting, Mayor Tashara Jones's office released a statement that safety was their top priority.
Gun violence happens everywhere throughout St. Louis, and that's why it's a citywide problem. It's a regional problem, not just certain pockets of the city.
Since it happened at the intersection of Market and 14th Street, where a large homeless encampment has been, people will no longer be allowed to congregate near City Hall. But as of Friday evening, the encampment didn't go far. It's moved across the street. 14th Ward Alderman Rasheen Aldridge supports having more homeless encampments throughout St. Louis.
Making sure that these encampments that are popping up, once they get too far gone, like how do we protect the area? But at the same time, you know, putting up the barricades only just move our unhoused to another location. It's not really figuring out the solution. It's just moving them to another place in another spot.
In the last year, fellow St. Louis Alderman Joseph Vollmer says shootings and encampments like these in the heart of downtown are wearing on tourism opportunities.
I believe the Stiefel Center had a graduation ceremony. How do you think those folks, you know, this is one of the highlights of your life, and you're coming down to a scene where someone was killed just hours before. It's unfortunate.
Both aldermen who we spoke with said how essential it is to continue both having mental health professionals as well as medical personnel to help curb both gun violence as well as homelessness in the city areas they want to see continued investment in, but they just wish someone didn't have to die in order to spotlight the need. Reporting live in St. Louis, Annie Krall, 5 on your side.
Tonight, St. Louis police are looking for the gunman in a fatal shooting on the city's north side. Police were called to North Garrison near Hebert. That's in the Jeff Vanderloo neighborhood just after 4 this afternoon. A man was found shot in the abdomen. He died at the scene. So far, no arrests. This is the 64th homicide in St. Louis this year. Today, a juvenile court officer said a 15-year-old girl accused of beating another teenager and putting her in a coma should not be certified to stand trial as an adult. Cell phone video of the March 8th attack went viral, prompting calls for Maurice Decloux to be charged as an adult. She said her main reason for her recommendation was because Decloux has no prior run-ins with juvenile authorities or disciplinary issues at the school. And the juvenile system has services to help rehabilitate her. In court today, the officer confirmed the police report showed Kaylee Gain threw the first punch before Decloux critically injured her.
She is a child, let's not forget that. And sometimes children get involved in things that mom and dad can't control. That's why we have juvenile courts, and that's why she should stay in juvenile court.
Decloux will remain in custody. The judge says he'll rule on whether Decloux should be certified as an adult in the coming weeks. A man accused of stealing a car with a child inside is in jail tonight. Officers arrested Stephen Dunn this afternoon. They say Dunn took the car from the mobile gas station in Brentwood early yesterday. Police found the 2-year-old child unharmed in Clayton about a half hour later. They found the car in Peevely a little later after that. Dunn is being held on charges including child kidnapping and stealing a motor vehicle. Hours ago, the city of Ferguson hosted a heartwarming party for its first responders. New tonight, Robert Townsend takes us to the event that attracted a huge crowd.
It was a festive event filled with lots of fun, good food, and gift giveaways. The cool party at this community center on this Friday night was for Ferguson's police officers, firefighters, and emergency dispatchers.
We just want them to know that we are a family and know that they can lean on each other and lean on us.
It was a chance for the North St. Louis County community to celebrate and say thank you to its everyday heroes who put their lives on the line, but also to recognize their spouses, parents, kids, and friends who support the emergency responders.
A lot of times our husbands, our loved ones are out there basically supporting the community and protecting them, and we're at home basically still keeping the family things moving.
The wives of Ferguson Police Chief Troy Doyle and Fire Chief John Hampton organized the Big Bash.
It feels good to be appreciated.
23-year-old Ryan Vance marking her first year as a Ferguson police officer.
I kind of look at this like a family reunion. Getting to know my coworkers' families and just getting together. We really don't have a lot of downtime.
A picture-taking party filled with plenty of laughs and memories they'll treasure for a lifetime.
And we'll always be there for them.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Officers hope tonight's appreciation party marks the beginning of year-long events that will allow them to honor Ferguson's first responders and their families. Well, right now there is a spectacular light show happening in the night sky. Look at this. It's just one of many pictures flooding into our newsroom over the past hour. Thank you, Jeff Kramer, for sending us this picture from Ellisville. Let's get straight to meteorologist Jim Castillo. This is something really special, Jim.
It really is. You know, it's Europe. We notice that pink sky instead of green. Sometimes the northern lights have a little bit of a green hue. And then in some of the pictures that I'm seeing coming in all over the place have a little bit of green mixed with the pink in there. And these are the northern lights. So the G5 was hit today, which is extreme geomagnetic solar storm. And again, very rare for us to see this, but it's gorgeous. And here's a picture from Jeff Kramer. Our own Ann Allred is related. And of course, Ellisville seeing those beautiful lights, even around Ellsbury, Missouri and Lincoln County, 8 miles southeast of there. The Richters sent this in. And then we have Cheryl Rodak in Oakville, Missouri. Related to me, we have also some of the viewing of the northern lights. We call that the Aurora Borealis, just absolutely stunning. So a G5 hasn't been reached since October 2003. So now we're at G4 level. That is still severe instead of extreme, which means we'll be seeing this, and we have that chance of seeing it again tomorrow. So I'll have a little bit more on this coming up in just a few minutes. Kelly?
All right, Jim. If you live in the Metro East, you'll want to allow a little extra time when coming into the city this weekend. About an hour ago, IDOT closed westbound lanes of Interstate 55-64 in East St. Louis so crews can resurface the road. The closure will affect the Poplar Street and Martin Luther King bridges. The Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge will remain open. All lanes should reopen by the Monday morning commute. Right now, traffic is flowing again on a stretch of Interstate 70 in St. Louis. Here is a live look from our MoDOT cam. 2 semis were involved in a crash around 4 this afternoon near Grand. One of the trailers caught fire. The burning cab was carrying sugar. Both drivers were treated for minor injuries at the scene. The road was shut down for more than 4 hours. We are in the midst of graduation season, and tonight we're introducing you to the hard-working graduates of the Missouri Virtual Academy. The students completed all of their required courses, all online. And for some of them, it was the option that kept them from dropping out of school. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon explains from Jefferson County.
They're lining up in the halls.
Can't believe it's happening, and emotional.
And after all, this is what they've waited for. Ready to go in caps and gowns. And don't forget the tassels. But there's something you wouldn't know from just looking at them.
Some of these kids are seeing each other for the first time.
These Grandview R2 school district students are assembling together in a school some of them have never set foot in.
Families, you're going to go to the left. Graduates are going to line up on the right, and there's restrooms right behind.
And they're all quiet and shy. I went down the hallway. I said, everybody better shake somebody's hand next to them. And they all started doing it. It was cool. Yeah.
They're part of the Missouri Virtual Academy, which offers high school instruction all over the internet.
It was a lot of work. It wasn't easy, but I got there.
And they're here to make their grand entrance. Families packing the stands at Grandview High to see their graduates earn a diploma. They came from all over the state.
So we have kids driven 6 hours to be here today for graduation.
For this 18-year-old from the small town of Barnard, the virtual option helped save her high school career.
I was getting bullied in school for who I am, so it was too much.
Enrolling in the Missouri Options program gave some 40 of the 200 graduates here who were falling behind on their credits a chance to catch up through rigorous instruction and testing. This is the very first graduation for the virtual students who completed that program. And for so many, it's not just a walk across the stage. It's a personal testament of resolve and the will to win.
I've been through a lot.
Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
Congratulations to all of them. This is only the second ever in-person graduation for students in the Missouri Virtual Academy. Coming up, thousands of WASHU students getting ready to graduate. The precautionary measures following last month's protests. Keeping pesticides out of produce. Consumer Reports looks at the high-risk fruits and veggies. Workers at Washington University are preparing for graduation day. 3,400 grads will get their diplomas on Monday at Olympic Field. Barricades are now up outside the campus. Everyone attending must have a ticket. The university implemented new security measures following a massive pro-Palestinian protest 2 weeks ago where more than 100 people were arrested. And actress Jennifer Coolidge will deliver the 2024 commencement address. The Emmy Award-winning actress is known for several television roles, including White Lotus. Coolidge will also receive an honorary Doctor of Fine Arts. As many of us try to eat more fruits and veggies, are we potentially putting ourselves at risk by also consuming harmful pesticides? A new investigation from Consumer Reports digs deep into the real dangers of these pesticides in our food and what we can do about them. Here's Mike Bush.
A healthy diet consists of eating plenty of fruits and vegetables. But some of the chemicals that are often used by produce farmers to help control bugs, fungi, and weeds raise concerns when it comes to your health.
Every year, the Department of Agriculture tests a selection of domestic and imported produce for pesticide residues. So our experts analyzed 7 years of this data.
For years, evidence has been building linking pesticide exposure to increased risks of cancer, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. The good news? There's little to worry about in close to 2/3 of the 59 conventionally grown fruits and vegetables reviewed. The bad? 20% posed a high risk from pesticides.
Produce that proved most problematic? Conventionally grown versions of blueberries, bell peppers, potatoes, green beans, kale and mustard greens, and watermelons.
The Alliance for Food and Farming, a farming industry organization, pointed out to CR that more than 99% of foods tested by the Department of Agriculture contain pesticide residues below the Environmental Protection Agency's legal limits. While that is true, the Food Quality Protection Act, or FQPA, requires the EPA to apply extra protection when science doesn't conclusively show that a pesticide is safe for infants and children. But this safety margin has rarely been used.
There just hasn't been enough research done on some of these chemicals and the negative health effects they can pose. So our experts took a precautionary approach and applied the FQPA safety factor to certain categories of pesticides, even if the EPA doesn't, to make sure we don't underestimate the risks.
So can you enjoy these fruits and vegetables and avoid harmful pesticides?
You don't need to totally eliminate higher risk foods from your diet. Remember that the risk, even from the most concerning produce, comes from exposure during vulnerable times, such as pregnancy or early childhood, or from repeated and years-long exposure. Fortunately, our research shows that for the most problematic produce, opting for organic is a great way to reduce the risk.
Nearly all of the organic produce CR looked at had low or very low pesticide risk.
Let's check in with meteorologist Jim Castillo again, and we have been getting some amazing pictures, Jim, from our viewing area
Everywhere.
of this supercharged northern lights.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. I'll step out of the way. We'll take a look at this, all these pictures coming in. So NASA's reported May 3rd through the 10th, today's the 10th, at least 82 notable solar flares, and we're at G5 level. We were at 4 extreme. The highest you can get is G5. We're there now. And it's more of a pink sky out there. Sometimes you get green when you get the northern lights, the aurora borealis. Here's the Richter family sent this in, Ellsbury, Missouri, and then Cheryl Rodak from Oakville, and friends in Florissant. Riri Mormino sent in a beautiful picture too. I just couldn't get it in time. So K9 level, look at this, extreme. We're there right now, and just the geomagnetic storm, we haven't seen this in the area since 2003. And again, I've never seen them in St. Louis. I grew up here. So tomorrow, that is likely to continue at least to the severe level, which is where we were expected to be tonight, and then maybe a little lower moderate as we get into Sunday. So you'll be able to possibly see the northern lights as we get into Sunday and also Monday, Saturday and Sunday, and possibly into Monday. All right, right now, you know, I looked at the moon. There's the moon there, and you can't really see the northern lights from our camera at 100 above the park, but it is clear, which is fantastic. And we've had reports of the northern lights from Troy, Missouri to Troy, Illinois, and Fayette County, Illinois, all the way down into Jefferson County, of course. A lot of friends in Oakville and also Arnold seeing that. So it is clear, just like we thought. It's going to clear up nicely tonight for that. And we're so lucky to see those lights far to the south. And of course, we could see some disruptions in not only GPS, but maybe the electric grid in some areas. We haven't had reports of that yet, but we're still getting hit by that sun's energy. So we'll find out overnight and into tomorrow any updates on that. 74 was the high today, 56 for that low, and 75 and 56 are the averages. So a pretty average day across the area. And tomorrow it's very sunny. We're in the mid 70s, northwest wind about 10 to 15, gust to 25. So we do have a chance of rain, but it isn't Mother's Day. Mother's Day looks great, 83. A little bit more cloud cover on Sunday, though, so less in the way of a viewing of any northern lights if we get those. But rain chances do increase big time Monday and Tuesday. Doesn't look severe, but rain and some thunderstorms around.
For us, it looks so pretty, but I know you as a meteorologist are so excited about this.
I cannot wait to get out there, and I'm going to drive around and look.
Okay, I think I may go with you.
Yeah.
All right, Corey Miller's here with sports.
Well, you may have thought it couldn't get any worse for the Cardinals, but guess what? You're wrong. We do have some good news, too, though. A local prep phenom's big day and a football legend giving back in St. Louis. Stick around. Sports is up next.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
You know, I had been curious if the Cardinals were staying at the legendary haunted Pfister Hotel in Milwaukee this weekend, where visiting teams often stay. Go ahead and do a quick Google search. There are plenty of ghost sighting stories from the Pfister. It turns out the Cardinals are staying there. That seems pretty on brand for the season so far. The nightmare continues. Stop me if you've heard this one before. The Cardinals faced a lefty you've never heard of, and he dominated. Robert Gasser had a big league debut to remember for the Brewers. There's his first career K, 6 shutout innings for Gasser. Lance Lynn kept things scoreless as long as he could, but the Brewers break through. Rhys Hoskins, 2 RBI single right there in the 4th. And it was more of the same from there on. Milwaukee teed off on just about everybody. The Cardinals offense was once again stuck in hibernation, and even the defense was rough tonight. There's a misplay in center field coming up here that went for a triple. Nolan Gorman did get a birthday home run in garbage time. That's his first hit in the month of May, but it was still a crooked number on the scoreboard. Brewers win 11-2. The Cardinals have lost 6 games in a row.
There's accountability to this job, and at the end of the day, we're not playing well, so I don't mind the questions. I think
they're well-deserved. I mean, ask me whatever you need to ask me. At the end of the day, we're going to wake up tomorrow and get after it again. And we're hoping that it looks better, and then we can continue to build on it. But from a frustration standpoint, ask whatever the heck you need to ask.
Stanley Cup playoffs, Game 3, Panthers and Bruins, series tied at 1. How many times have we seen this? Vladimir Tarasenko from the wing, 2-0 Panthers. What a snipe from the former Blue. Florida would keep pouring it on. Carter Verhaeghe is going to get this one to go for Matthew Tkachuk. Panthers win Game 3 by the score of 6-2. They take the lead in the series. You better get used to high school football commitment ceremonies because we have a lot on deck this year in the St. Louis area. One of the region's most talented players picked his college today over in Belleville. Running back and all-around athlete De'Air Hill Jr. started his high school career at Vashon. Now he's an Althoff Crusader, and next year he will be an Oregon Duck. The four-star recruit chose Oregon over Illinois, Missouri, Ohio State, and Ole Miss, and there's no doubt today was a family affair.
We've always known that he was destined for greatness. He's always went hard. He's always been determined. He's always been dedicated. So it's just a pleasure to see that now the whole world will see what we've seen in him since he was little.
Not a lot of people got to do what I did today, and that's a big reason why we were so emotional. Just always believing in me and just always pushing me to just be the best person I could be. And for me to be able to make that commitment today, it definitely brought a lot of emotions to all of us.
Isaac Bruce has not played a down of football in our town in a decade and a half, but he has not forgotten about us. Today was the annual Isaac Bruce Scholarship Giveaway Day, and 2 students at Cardinal Ritter College Prep were surprised with 2 $5,000 scholarships to help in their education. And let me tell you, they were surprised.
When I saw Isaac Bruce, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I got 5,000. Like, it's a blessing.
Not at all. I was expecting, I really thought we were just getting ice cream. Honestly, I didn't expect to get a $5,000 scholarship at all.
It's always fun. I get an opportunity to, just give back some love to so many that showed me love while I'm doing my time here.
The Battlehawks soar into Birmingham tomorrow for a 3 p.m. matchup against the undefeated Stallions. Yes, the offense often gets most of the publicity for the Battlehawks, but the defense is just as good. They'll have an equally good defense on the other side of the field this week as well.
We're the #1 total defense. They're the #1 scoring defense. And we got 2 great offenses going at each other. I mean, this is really good. This is going to be a fun game to watch. Like I said, I'm really excited about it all. And the defenses should get a lot of praise because they deserve it.
How about Missouri softball? Today, Mizzou played LSU in the SEC tournament semifinals. Maddie Gallagher went deep to start the scoring for the Tigers. Then we're tied at 1 in extra innings, and Gallagher sends one far enough for the walk-off sacrifice fly. Mizzou will play for the SEC title tomorrow, and so will SLU softball. They're going to play for the A10 title. So not so great baseball in St. Louis these days, but we got some good softball teams to follow.
Okay, thank you, Corey. And happy birthday again.
Thank you.
Coming up, all in a day's work, the complicated capture in Jefferson County. Law officers are trained for all kinds of situations. A sheriff's deputy in Jefferson County recently wrangled a lost bull, and apparently it is really not that unusual. According to the Sheriff's Department, Deputy Tegg works in the southern part of Jefferson County and has responded to a number of calls for loose cows, so many that he now carries a rope with him.
Wow.
Let's check out more pictures of this Aurora Borealis.
And is it me or is this cooler than the eclipse?
That's awesome.
It's very cool.
It's very
and you
cool.
don't need glasses.
Right. So here's fluorescent. I mean, this is everywhere. We've had pictures coming in from Arnold. Here's Riri and Dave, fluorescent. Thanks for sending that in. Jeff and Ellisville. So it's just, you got to go to the darker areas, again, away from the city lights to see these.
What about for tomorrow?
Same exact thing, a chance of seeing them. Yeah, pretty good chance.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Jim. And thanks so much for joining us. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next. Enjoy your evening. And be sure to stay for Today in St. Louis tomorrow at 6.